Welcome to Maranatha Christian Academy, home of the Mustangs. Founded in 1978. So glad that you've joined us for this tour. I'd like to take a moment and see one of our teachers, Mr. Campbell. Hey, thanks for being with us. As a matter of fact, thanks for being available for Jim. Would you take a moment and tell us some of the things that are really kind of unique to our lower school program, and then maybe even perhaps add a little bit more about what you're doing in middle school?
Sure. So we start out pre-K in the gymnasium, and in pre-K we really work on building core strength and just motor skills so that when they get older they can move into more of the games and sports activities. Then in elementary school we really get to do some fun things. We just finished up our inline skating unit. We have rollerblades that we provide for all of the students. Everyone, they don't leave class without learning how to rollerblade, inline skate. We also do some, sports that aren't so popular in America right now. We just brought in Tchoukball, which is created in Switzerland, and it's becoming more popular around the world, but it hasn't quite caught on in America yet. But we like to bring in some world sports. And then in middle school, we focus a lot on lifetime activities. There's ski trips involved and hiking trips, which really keep the students active and give them something long-term besides the traditional football, which we also have football, baseball, those more traditional sports, but we like to really focus on lifelong activities.
And Mr. Campbell, because we are Maranatha Christian Academy, can you also tell us how you might incorporate perhaps some Christian worldview, because that's really at the core of who we are. How are you incorporating that in physical education?
Sure. We really make a focus during physical education on how do we treat each other. How as Christian athletes does that make us treat the people we're competing against while we are competing. And we constantly are talking about the Word and how that applies during sports, and especially with that interaction with other athletes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much, Mr. Campbell. You know, one of the things that, again, makes us so unique is the fact that Mr. Campbell has great activity. So you just heard him say that we had a unit on inline blading. One of the things that we're able to do to bring our community together is we have a moms and a dads organization. Now, the beauty of that is that when you're at Maranatha, we really value partnership. We love having parents in the building. And so as such, that really means that we get to partner with parents and teachers to build a wonderful community for our students. So again, going back to our physical education, we have an inline skating unit, and then at the end of that unit, we partner with our parents organization who have a party at a local skating rink. And so again, one of the ways that we're able to incorporate community and some of the skills that their students are learning. As you can see, this is our cafeteria. We have a really fantastic food program, and we realize that some students may have food allergies, and so with that being the case, our food program is able to offer gluten-free options, vegetarian options. So whatever a student's need is, we try to make sure that we're able to accommodate those students. But let's go down into our lower learning commons, where we're going to hear a little bit more about STEAM. As we're going, what you're going to notice is that we have some tables and booths, so a student can come in, they can come in and do homework as they're done with class. Even our lower school students have the opportunity to participate and be able to see some of the other options that our high school students are able to do. Let's go into our lower school STEAM center, where you'll be able to see some of our lower school classes having both computer and library. Come on in.
Okay. Yes. There's 12. That's right. Very good. All right. So right now, what I want you to do is
So currently, this is a third grade classroom that's having library time. So because we are a school of innovation, all students from fourth grade and above are required to have their own devices. Now, what that means for our third grade students to kindergarten is that we have technology integration that's available to our students. And one of the ways that we use that is we bring it right into the classroom. So our teachers can partner with our library department, and they can help work on additional products. And so this is one of the ways that we're using innovation to learn about ways that we can research programs and ways that we can help write papers in class. We do partner with those teachers. Behind you, we're going to see some of our STEAM Center. And as you come this direction, what you're going to find is that our STEAM Center, loaded with robotics, this is where we start teaching robotics as early as 3 years old. We are a school of innovation, and we do start at the very youngest ages. I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Young. This is one of the ways that we're able to incorporate technology into the classroom. So, Miss Young, thank you for taking a few minutes.
You're welcome.
Can you share with us what it is that he's doing?
Yes, we've got 2 Square Panda units over here, and our friend Elijah is just playing one of the games, but they're all learning. They're working on letter recognition, identifying sounds. It moves on to other pre-reading skills and even reading skills. And each student then has their own account on here, and we can track the data for those students on what letters they're knowing and which ones they're not, if they're orienting them correctly on the trays. And they just have a lot of fun playing with it, and they have no idea that they're learning.
Thank you, Mrs. Young. What would you say some of the goals are for pre-kindergarten, especially if they're coming in at 3 years old? What are some of the things that you're trying to develop at 3 years old that will prepare them for kindergarten and beyond?
Well, I think number one, just a love of learning. We want them to love coming to school and love all facets of learning. But on the teacher side of it, we want them to know their letters and know their numbers and start to know letter sounds. So the real basic academic skills, but mostly we want them to love learning and love coming to school and learn to love God and love being with their friends.
Mrs. Nguyen, can you tell us some of the fun things that first grade has the opportunity to do?
Well, we're right in the middle of a classroom store. So at the end of every quarter, we allow the kids to use their money that they've been earning all quarter to buy things in an actual classroom store. A scenario here where they're actually buying real things to take home. And so in first grade, one of the big concepts that we spend time on in math is counting pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, right? And at the very end of the year, we start counting dollar bills, right? And so as the year goes on, we give them money for good behavior. Now, it looks real, but is it real, boys and girls? No, it's plastic. It looks real, but it's actually plastic. And then they're able to count it up, and they're able to spend some, save some. We talk a little bit about giving to the local church, right? And that's just one of the cool things about first grade, is we bless the children for their good behavior with this pretend money that looks real.
Now, Mrs. Nguyen, I also understand that part of first grade, you're using a lot of innovation. We're introducing more robotics. We're going to get to that when we get to STEAM. Can you tell me some of the ways that you're incorporating some of those aspects into the classroom currently?
I think one of our favorite things, and the boys and girls can agree with me on this, is our Legos. We have these simple machine Legos, and we get to build things. We use these Legos to create things using gears, pulleys, levers, inclined planes, things like that. And they build these really cool machines that really move, and they can send them down the ramp, right? It gets a little bit loud and crazy, but they really learn a lot through that. They learn a lot about the engineering and design process.
And can you also tell us how we are doing with reading? Because as a school, we are big on reading. Tell me how we've been able to develop that love of learning for reading in the classroom.
Well, actually, in first grade, Mrs. Zappia is the reading teacher, and she does such an amazing job with these kids. In fact, I teach math, and I have to often say in math class, boys and girls, I know you love reading, but put the book down, because right now we're in math. They just really enjoy reading. They love to read. Mrs. Zappia just really teaches them the strong foundation where they become readers over the course of the year. And oftentimes, they're reading above grade level, which is always really fun to see as a first grade teacher.
True, because we often hear readers are leaders, right?
That's true.
Yes, and can you also share with me, I know that we have special projects. We love giving back to the community. What are some of the ways that our first grade class is giving back?
We love to write letters to people. We write letters to veterans, especially veterans that are in nursing homes that are elderly. One of the cool things that we get the opportunity to do is I'm in charge of the chapel at the beginning of the year, or in November, where we talk about Veterans Day and what that is. And then we all talk about what we do when we send letters out. But then we actually invite our veterans of our families in first grade to be part of that and tell a little bit about what their story is. That's just one of the programs that we do, though.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Nguyen. And now let's go over to our STEAM Center, where students are taught pre-coding as early as 3 years old. I'd love for you to meet Mrs. Shawning, who's going to give us just a little overview about some of the things that we're doing in STEAM. Mrs. Shawning, hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk about some of the amazing things that you're doing in the STEAM Center for our lower school students. Can you share some of the ways that you're teaching coding and innovation in our lower school?
Absolutely. So STEAM is the integration of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And so we find cool ways to kind of integrate those into big projects. Right now in 5th grade, we're working on our final capstone project where the students are going through the engineering design cycle to create a project with empathy. And they're actually going to print out their product that they've designed on our 3D printer. And then over here, I've got some other examples of some robotics that we use. It starts in pre-K. So we use the Botley in pre-K. It starts with visual coding, sequencing, and basic algorithms. And then we move on to the Bee-Bot, which we navigate through mazes. Then we move on to the Cubelets, and basically each cube has a different mechanism in it. So they're designing robots before they have the fine motor skills to actually put the robots together. And then in the 2nd through 5th grade, we use the Lego WeDo 2.0s, and this is an example of one of the projects that 4th grade just finished. This is a space rover that one of the students designed as a possible robot that could go into space and go in and out of craters, collect rock samples, that sort of thing.
That's amazing. So can you also tell us, I know that we as a school are talking a lot about collaboration. What are some of the ways that you're able to teach collaboration, empathy within STEAM and robotics?
Well, we have a ton of different group work opportunities. So we teach the foundations of these principles of coding and robotics, and then we apply those within group projects targeted at every grade. Even starting as small as pre-K, we start talking about how to collaborate, how to disagree respectfully, and how to mediate those situations.
I'm certain that you've had a few tears every now and then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you also share with me, I heard not long ago that some of your students were actually designing their own video games.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we do a more basic video game in Scratch. It's a product that was developed by MIT to teach coding, and so it's a block-based coding program. They start designing their video games in 4th grade, and then in 5th grade they work with a partner to develop a video game that they design by themselves.
And then you also take a lot of opportunity to allow students to really create and ideate. I understand that you also have a small house project, and you also have some electrical engineering that's involved in that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's actually during innovation hour. So the homeroom teachers are going to partner with Stacy Heater on that. And so basically they're applying the things that they're learning about surface area and measurement and those kind of things, scaling big houses down to small model sizes, and then they're designing those houses, and then they have the 4th graders who are using sticky circuits, which are basically like copper wire stickers to wire those houses so that they have lights.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Shawning. This has been amazing. Welcome to our Art Center. This is where our lower school students from kindergarten to 6th grade are able to participate in art. I'd like to introduce you to our lower school art teacher, Miss Dawes. Thank you for taking a few minutes. Can you share with us some of the things that kindergarten through 6th grade are doing currently?
So in K through 5th, we change our projects weekly because they have it once a week, and so we have multiple different projects that we get to use and do. We usually incorporate art history, and then we have a project that goes off of that. So right now, 6th grade just got done with Starry Night, Van Gogh drawing, and then kindergarten is also incorporating the same project into theirs, just it looks a little bit different for them. So we get to incorporate all different kinds of art history in there too.
And because we are at Maranatha, and one of the things that makes us very unique is the fact that we incorporate a Christian worldview in everything that we teach. Could you share with us how you're incorporating worldview, just the Christian faith, into teaching your art classes?
Yeah, so I like to incorporate it by asking the students how their life is going and what's going on in their life, and then trying to incorporate how we can show our faith through our life, and also using art as a measure of getting your feelings out in it or things that go along with that. So,
What a wonderful experience. Thank you so much, Ms.
no
Dawes. I
problem.
appreciate your time. With me now, I have Ms. Larson, our principal at Maranatha Christian Academy. Ms. Larson, thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with us. Can you share with us what are some of those high impact things that we're seeing taking place currently at Maranatha?
Sure. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is our service outreaches. Each grade level has their own outreach. Pre-K has a service outreach to Samaritan's Purse, and that's a program where our kiddos will bring in money to purchase animals for other countries where they don't have food or they have food scarcity. Another example would be our third graders who learn how to knit and crochet, and they knit and crochet blankets, and they send that over to orphans in Peru. And then another one would be our fourth graders, where they have sponsored different compassion children. And so we just pride ourselves on teaching our kids that you're a blessing to be a blessing to someone else, and that what you have and you've been blessed with is to help other people. And so each of the kids, as they go through our program here at Maranatha, will be able to see the teachers' passions as they go through and how they're using their own lives to serve other people.
Wonderful. So we've heard a lot about how we're incorporating our innovation practices in classrooms. How are teachers able to incorporate that design thinking into their lessons through the course of the day with lesson planning?
So all the teachers do it a little bit different. So we do have a teacher that they partner with, and that teacher comes in and helps them think of more innovative things. They partner together, they use our state standards, and they'll come up with a project. So for example, our fifth grade did a desk project not too long ago. They had to go out and they had to interview the different staff members, and they had to ask them about what is your favorite things that you'd like to have on a desk if one was created. Then after they did that, they did some research, and then they went into some design thinking. They prototyped it, designed it out. Then they brought it into the next level where they used cardboard. They used, different saws that are kid-friendly. And then they actually built it, and then they put it into the mall hall, which is a big hallway that we have, and we got to vote on it. One of my favorite things with that program was that we had our 3-year-olds come out, and they were actually at the desks and playing at the desks, and so it was really fun project that they got to learn and use innovative thinking to design something for a real staff member here at our school.
I love hearing about that. And one of the things that I'm hearing, particularly now in the day and age in which we live, is safety. So many parents are coming in. Their young students are our most valuable possessions. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me how it is that we're incorporating safety through the course of our days? How are we protecting our students? How do we keep them safe on campus? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's really important for us. So we have a lot of different measures that we do here at Maranatha. So over here we actually have an example of some doors that do go out to the church. The only way that you can get in those doors is you have to have a key fob to let you in, or there's a camera system that you have to push a button, and then you have to be visually recognized to get into the school. And then those people would have to come check in at our front desk. At our student services, we also have a system. It's a Raptor system. So all visitors coming in have to scan their ID to be recognized and make sure they're not somebody that shouldn't be around children. And we also have on campus, we have 2 full-time securities all the time. They're armed securities for the church/school that do go through the building to make sure that we're safe. In fact, here's one of our security officers going by right now. And so they're big guys, tough guys, but they're super friendly, and they take their job really seriously. They love our kids. We also have on the doors, we have ballistic glass. In front of our main doors, we have cement pillars also. So we do take that very seriously. We know that that's really important to our parents and to our students as well.
Thank you, Ms. Larson. And last question. So we're hearing a lot about some of the academics. Certainly Maranatha has some of the high academics that you would expect at a college preparatory school. I also am hearing other schools who, if they're having to make budget cuts, they're cutting some of the fine arts, art, music. Can you tell me what it is that you incorporate as far as some of the specialist classes that lower school students can expect to participate in?
So our specialists that we have music. Our music classes, they also have in 5th grade, starting in 5th grade and up, they can take band, they can take chapel band, they can take jazz band, they can take, group choir, they can do group ensembles. Our art classes, we have a huge variety of art classes that they can take, and we also have maker spaces. I'm not sure if you know what maker spaces are, but we incorporate those throughout the day where they can be creative and use different materials. And we have that all the way from pre-K down and then up. Even classroom teachers will incorporate that into their classes. We have PE. We'll always have PE. We also have fitness for high school. So that would be equivalent to maybe going to a fitness club or a personal trainer and, incorporating that into their lives so they're learning how to take care of their bodies as well. So we have STEAM, and STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So we do incorporate the art in there as well because we know that when kids are creating that the art piece also has to be part of that. And then we do have our Learning Commons specialists as well that do a lot of 21st century learning, technology. We teach our kids the proper use of technology. So age appropriate, we're teaching them all the things that would keep them safe on the internet. Some of the things that we as adults maybe didn't get, we're making sure that our kids do get that. And then we push all of that out to our parents as well so that we partner with our parents, and some of those things are new for the parents as well.
And then, of course, last but not least, I love that we've incorporated technology, innovation, we've covered academics, some of the fine arts pieces, but then finally, because we are educating the whole person, there's the character development and the faith aspect. Can you tell us finally how it is that we're incorporating chapel and Bible into curriculum for that Christian worldview?
Yep. So that's one of our characteristics that's going to set us apart from a lot of schools is that we do incorporate our faith. We have daily Bible classes. The teachers, homeroom teachers do that. We also have weekly chapels. We try to have a variety of speakers coming in so that they're learning and hearing from different people. We do have, at our school, we have about 120 different churches, Christian churches represented here. So we have people coming from different places. So we focus on the things that we agree with in Christianity, kind of the, we call it kind of the backbone of Christianity. We try not to get into any kind of controversial topics. We also do praise and worship with the kids. We have our counselors coming in, and they're doing some character development with the kids. And so they're having small group sessions as well on those particular topics. And then also in the classes, so let's say it's a science class and they're talking about something like creation or something like that, they're going to bring in that biblical worldview as well and have those harder conversations with kids, obviously age appropriate, to make sure that we're touching base and incorporating the biblical worldview into our classes as they're teaching some of these tougher concepts.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Larson. It's been a privilege to be able to talk with you for a few minutes. Before we go any further, I have to stop and introduce you to our head of school. This is Mr. Brian Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, thank you for taking a few minutes
It's a
to talk to
pleasure.
our friends.
Yeah.
I know that currently everybody's talking about innovation. We certainly are blessed to have you at the helm leading us in innovation. Your leadership has certainly taken us to the next level. Can you share with us some of the things that we're doing, some of the changes that we've made currently in preparation for what's coming ahead? Can you share a little with that?
Well, thank you. That is very kind of you to say that. I mean, our team, it's really our team, it's really our community that is passionately committed to really teaching what I think is the chiefest of skill sets of the future, which is that innovation skill set. Right now, 60% of first graders, their jobs don't exist. So the question is, from a parent's perspective, how are schools preparing my child for jobs that don't exist? Now, we're going to provide students with a world-class education, but we're also going to help them develop a skill set that really transfers to any discipline in life, that really can never be automated, whether it's collaboration, design thinking, creativity, problem solving, so on and so forth. And so we just launched a new mission statement this past January to all of our stakeholders that said, okay, we are going to be a school of and with a future. We are going to be a school of innovation. And on our drawing board right now is something called an iDiploma, an innovation diploma, that is aligned with the Stanford D School. So we have some very, very exciting developments that are happening at MCA that are really going to be kind of positioning our students to experience that laboratory of the future right here at Maranatha Christian Academy.
Amazing. In addition to that, Mr. Sullivan, I understand that we've also just signed a partnership with Bethel. And so tell us a little bit about that. That is extraordinary for our students.
It is. I mean, I think that's a tremendous advantage, for students. So right now, Bethel University is a key partner. We are launching an full Associate of Arts degree through Bethel University, which will be embedded in our high school. 70% of all those courses are going to be taught by Bethel professors right here on campus. So we're bringing the college experience right to MCA. So in essence, 56 college classes will be offered through this program. So in essence, students have 3 different diploma tracks. They can take a traditional high school college prep diploma, which we offer at MCA. They can do a Associate of Arts degree, graduate from Maranatha, a full Associate of Arts degree that's recognized by 8,000 colleges and universities throughout the U.S., or a boutique diploma track where they can kind of cherry pick out of those 2 previous tracks. All of that is going to really bear tremendous savings and benefits to parents because, that 2-year degree program is going to total somewhere in the vicinity of $90,000 to $95,000 savings for mom and dad.
That's huge.
Yep.
That's huge. So, Mr. Sullivan, I know that you are a very busy gentleman. And so as we are wrapping up and we're headed to talk to some of the other staff members, what are some of the last words that you'd like to share with some of our prospective families in terms of why Maranatha?
Well, I think Maranatha, personally, I think, it's a rich culture. You have students here that want to be here, students here that are serious about their faith, they're serious about their studies. I mean, you have students here who are going to be nutritious friends, to your children. It's a great community, teachers that really care about their students, that take a, personalized interest in them, that are going to get to know you and really partner with you to see your hopes, your desires for your son and daughter achieved at MCA. And so I think what I think is the signature hallmark of our school is that strong sense of community, that sense of acceptance and being part of a family. And we do to describe it as being part of a family at Maranatha.
Excellent. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your interest in our school.